I'm out there, and a lot of people asking the questions you ask. Who is this guy? What does he do? How is he this happy all the time? Podcasting, hosting, filming, whatever. It's my favorite part of the week. You sit down, you have a real conversation, and you learn a lot about people. Like, I'm a big Vegas guy. I love gambling. I love the aura of Las Vegas. But a lot of these guys, they come and they want to beat Vegas. You got to go in, understand that you can't beat them. If you do, walk. If you go into Vegas and you make money, get the fuck out. If you can control it, go for it.
What's poppin', everybody? Today I'm here with Cristo. And if you haven't seen this gentleman yet, then you're just not on the social. You're just not popping in the digital footprint. And you got to get onto his stuff. He's got such an interesting story. And today we're going to talk about how he's mastered the scene when it comes to gambling. And he's found an angle in which he's made it profitable for himself. He's got a massive, massive network, not only with just hyper-local people, but celebrities and people that have star status. He does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants to in the city. If he feels like something, he's going to do it and he's going to get it, right? And so much more we go on to talk about today. And thank you for gracing us with your presence and taking the time out of your day to sit with us.
Always, anytime. Thank you.
Okay, listen, I find it extremely interesting how you came out of nowhere and now the whole city knows you, not only knows you, but has a laugh with you on the socials, right? And is really able to understand, who you are, right, for the present day without knowing a lot about your background. So, I got so many questions for you today, and I was really pumped up. I was telling. I usually
have tequila on my pod, but I know you don't drink, so.
Yeah, and I was telling Cristo before we came live today, I said, usually we film all 4 episodes in one day, and we put out one a week. I said, but, I kept seeing this guy on social media, and I kept laughing, and I keep engaging. I'm like, I need this guy. I need this guy on the podcast next week. And we're going to put out a special edition. Yeah. What Would It Cost is known for sitting down with real estate professionals. Yeah. You're the furthest thing from that, right?
So my brother's real
estate this is a really cool spinoff of What Would It Cost. But I was excited to do it, so I hit Maddie up, I hit you up, I said, let's put it together, let's make it happen. Tell us about who you are, where you came from, why you're so awesome and vibrant, and how you more importantly, how you captured the attention of the city in such a short period of time.
Thank you for having me, first of all.
Yeah.
And I hope it was easy. I told you, let's do it. You said yes. I like that. That's how I work.
Yeah.
We don't need to go through everyone to get a ship booked. Can I swear on this, by the way? Can I swear on this?
Yeah. Let it rip, bud.
So thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure. We met formally through Lil Mo, a nice little lunch with Lil Mo. Yeah. So shout out Lil Mo. You're the best. Born and raised in Mississauga.
Okay,
905. Born and raised in Mississauga. My dad came from Lebanon. I got the hummus and the tabbouleh in me. I'm a habibi. So he gave me everything. My dad gave me everything. My mom gave me a lot too. My dad gave me, he came from nothing. Just he hustled, he grind, janitor, this, that, put himself through tuition by being the janitor at the university, and then wanted to be an engineer. His father died, took a different path. But those morals, those character, that loyalty, that respect, it's in my Instagram bio. Loyalty and respect is all I desire. It's just what I ask of people. It's what I give to people. So I think from being that kind of person inside, it's endeared me to everybody, right? And I'm obviously very positive. I'm very, I'm out there, and a lot of people say, like, who is this? Asking the questions you ask. Who is this guy? What does he do? How is he this happy all the time? How is he partying till 5 a.m. and up at 7 a.m. in the gym? I don't know, man. Like, I have good genes, I guess. I don't know. My mom, my dad. My mom feeds me like a king. My dad, like I said, he's still a rock star, almost 70, and he gave me everything. He just gives me that zest for life, right? So, it's an open-ended question, but from within, the fabric, the foundation, is how I live my life every day, as though it's my last. And, there's a long story beyond that. I'm now 31. I'm getting up there in age. I'm still young, but I'm getting up there. I've been in the city, kind of destroying it and making it my little, for like 15 years now, give or take. I was in the club a couple years young. We could talk about the clubs too. I know you used to be a part of that, but born and raised in Mississauga, and naturally, I did all my family stuff. Did University of Toronto, Mississauga for a couple years. Didn't finish. Didn't get a degree because business started booming. And then I bought my condo, my first property, in 2014, right in York and Bremner, right between the Air Canada Center and Rogers Center. And then I just decided Toronto was my playground. and you got the sports, you got the entertainment, you got all that. It's just like a little place. It's like New York City, maybe a little bit of a smaller, more tame, but it's like New York City. And when you start to navigate Toronto well, you can really, really make some great things happen. Networking, business. I think that's the most powerful thing about where I am today. And this podcast is a testament to the network. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't really know you, but you heard about me on social media, and I know you, and we did. Boom. Now we're making things happen, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know where it's going to lead to in terms of business. I know you got this whole Spark. Shout out Spark Financial, putting everything on for us. But it's just the power of the network, right? And every day is a new day, and it's a new chance and a new opportunity to do something great in the world. That's how I wake up and I look at life. It's just it's every day is what are we going to do today?
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
And you truly do. You do live every day like it's your last. I know that's a very generic statement and it sounds very cliche, but that's what I get from you. Like when I look at your socials and when I've been following along for the journey, I was like, this guy just gives her every day, bro. Like, he's laughing, he's smiling, he's betting, he's at Mademoiselle, he's with the boys, he's out there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And good on you, bro. Because it's one thing to say it, appreciate it, understand that it should be done that way, but then it's a whole other ball game to actually do it, right? And you do it, bro.
I like to think that everything lined up really well for me in my life, right? I went through, and I'll talk about them openly, a lot of struggles, a lot of, mental, physical, financial, everything. We all go through that. And now at 30 plus, I feel like everything's just lining up perfectly.
Nice.
Financially, personally, even physically, like I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm waking up every day like boom, let's go get it. What are we doing today? The podcast helped me a lot. It's given me opened a lot of doors for me. It's really given me that like zest that my original businesses, which I can discuss with you, from the betting to real estate to everything else, they're nice, they're money makers, they're cash flow, but they're not like sitting and having a conversation with someone. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's on 100 with the podcasting and the production and social media. But this is like podcasting, hosting, filming, whatever. It's my favorite part of the week. It's like just you sit down, you have a real conversation, and you learn a lot about people. Like you're going to learn a lot about me today, the same way I learn about my guests when I film every week. It's just so powerful. And then, we produce it and we send it out to people and the reels and everything. And I always say we're the disruptors. We're the people that are changing the way that the world views everyone else. I say that to Anthony and Ernesto and Money Buys Happiness and mine and everyone else's podcasts that are kind of circulating in the world today. We're the ones that are creating the content that people see every day when they open their phones.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how hard. Like you have a marketing room, you have all these rooms in this office alone that, like, they see it on their phone. They think, oh, that's nice. They took a video, but it takes so much out of us, right? It's a lot of work to get to the final result. I actually have an episode dropping today as well, so go watch that. Like and subscribe to the podcast. But it's I feel like everything's lining up for me right now. Well, and I don't want to take over the pod, but
this is all you, baby.
You can go ahead and ask away. Yeah, I mean, I'm a psycho better. I like to party. I like to drink. You mind me asking? I know, because I'll ask you directly, because everyone has a story about alcohol, right?
Yeah.
I want yours quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Allow me to host a little bit here.
Okay.
Because I do every pod with tequila and shisha. That's basically my MO, right? I'm Arabic. So I'll tell you mine, but if you don't mind, because I don't want to be insensitive. I'm not insensitive.
Yeah.
I'm a real one.
Yeah.
So could you tell me?
Yeah, in a nutshell, bro, I was in the nightlife and entertainment hospitality industry for 15 plus years. Day in, day out, lived it, slept, breathed nightlife. So I was in my nightclubs. I was an owner, operator, promoter, and I was hosting all the time. Yep. And through that, you build up a heavy tolerance for alcohol. Yeah. I was a big drinker. I was a big partier. And I wanted out of that life because now I'm a family man. I'm a father of 3. And everything I do, I'm an all or nothing character.
Love it.
So I'm good at whatever I put my head to. I was good at that too. I was too good at it. Right?
You're a good drinker.
Long story short, I just couldn't manage to handle it in moderation. I didn't have it under control. It got out of hand. So I said, okay, I need to address this. So I arrested that addiction and moved on.
Love that. Love that. Don't
But
mind me asking.
But I have nothing against it. I can sit in a room if you'd like.
I got a flask in my pocket.
You go for it, bro.
No,
it does nothing for me in regards to bother. And
that's beautiful.
Yeah. I just
that's beautiful.
Couldn't handle it.
You look, your smile, your this. You look like you got a good grasp on,
Thank you, bro.
that part of your life. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved to know the old you, and maybe I can get him out at some point.
I'd be hanging off that fucking chandelier right now, bro.
You remind me of Alec Dex. Shout out Alec Dex.
Yeah. Me and Alec did some partying together.
Yeah. I'm sure. And this is brother Sacco, everyone, the whole crew.
Yeah.
For me, I grew up like my grandfather and I, from when I was like 12 years old, we were having scotch and
Okay.
He was my guy. He passed about 7-8 years ago, but he was my guy. My mom's dad actually, and he'd call me and say, "Come over, let's have a scotch," and we would just chat it up like podcast stuff. We would just 2 hours, 3 hours on a Saturday. We would just chalk it up, and by the time we were done, we were 2 bottles deep. So my dad would be there, my brothers. So that kind of was, like you said, ingrained in me in the beginning, and then so I have a high tolerance too, but. Forgive me for saying this. I never really felt like it was abusing me, or it was because I was just in control always. Like, I never puked from alcohol. Like I've never like gone. I don't do stupid shit, right? I know my limit. I don't do drugs. Everyone knows that. I'm straight. Like I drink tequila soda, like it's fucking water, and I enjoy myself. And I get to this point where I'm like, I'm happy, and then that's it.
Nice.
I'll just dip out. I'll Uber home. I'll whatever.
Good on you.
I kind of have that kind of
control,
which some people don't, right? And I don't wake up and I'm like, oh, I need a drink. That's not what I think, right? But if we're doing a day party, I wake up, I go to the day party, and then we carry it on. But let me say this about alcohol: it's if you can control it, it's like gambling. It's like any vice in the world,
right?
If you can control it, go for it.
Yeah,
you're good.
Sure.
But if you can't, like a lot of these guys, like I'm a big Vegas guy.
Okay.
Right? I'm obviously a sports bettor. I love gambling. I love the aura of Las Vegas. But a lot of these guys, they come and they want to like beat Vegas, and they want to like make it their priority when they step in the casino. They want to like, oh, I can beat them today or whatever. You got to go in, understand that you can't beat them.
Right.
And if you do, walk. Like if you go into Vegas and you make money, get the fuck out.
Right.
Right. Or go spend the money on shit you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like women, alcohol, whatever. Go have a night out. Go to the club. But some people get so like enamored with like beating. Some people have that gene, that I don't know, jealousy or whatever. Like I want to beat. It's anything, business or whatever. You can't be like, you got to do what you want to do. You got to do for yourself. Don't worry about other people. Jealousy and all these very inherent traits that are in us, right? Like people want to see you do good, but never better than them. It's a good old saying. And I just want to see everybody win, right?
Yeah.
I don't want everyone to eat at my table. A lot of my friends, not that I've distanced from them, but I've went from a lot of good friends to many acquaintances. Because a lot of people, especially now,
That's a good way to put it. I haven't heard that before. Yeah.
Especially, don't mind me. I'll ramble on. I'll go forever.
It's a very like tasteful way to put it, right? Like I went from a lot of friends to acquaintances. Where it's not like they're not part of my life anymore or fuck them kind of thing. It's their acquaintances.
Yeah.
Right. It just didn't value it at that level anymore. Right. But I'd never heard it that way. That's nice.
Yeah. I just think, and I don't want to say I'm a celebrity by any means, whatever, but I think with this kind of presence that I now have, and like I'll tell you, Nick, to be honest with you, up until a year ago, I was private on Instagram, private. Once I started the podcast, I said, if I'm going to do this successfully,
do it right.
Let's do it right. Let's just put ourselves out there. You know, everyone's always worried about the stuff. You know, you're wearing nice jewelry, you're wearing nice clothes, you're this and that. You worry about people seeing you and wanting to raw. I kind of got over that when I realized social media is going to take over the world, and we're going to be out there whether we want to or not. Like you can't really hide nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hide from the reality of life. So I just decided, like, if I'm going to go for this, right, I do put everyone kind of knows before even all the social media and everything in the podcast, they knew who I was, and I was out there, but I was private. Like I was private on social media, Instagram. I was private on Snapchat. I was more of a private public guy because I showed my real life, but to the people that I wanted to show. Like I would look at every request to follow. Do I know that person? If not, see you. Now it's like, this is just a fucking crapshoot, so let's just open it up, right? And so before, like a year ago, I was private, but now it's like I've gained a network from all ends, the Bay Street guys to the club guys to hospitality guys to everyone. And it's like everyone knows that I'm the funny, bald, wild, crazy guy that doesn't have I say this with arrogantly, I don't have a mean bone in my body. I don't want to see anyone fail. I want to see everyone win. And my best friends are the richest of the richest and the poorest of the poorest. And I treat them the same.
Yeah.
Like I have people that I grew up with in Saga that don't have much, and people that are now on Bay Street that make $10 million a year. And they're all my friends. And I'll chop it up with them one day and chop it up with him one day.
Cool.
Because I just don't see, like, money doesn't make you. It comes and goes. Money doesn't make you. You need money to live, this and that. whatever. But money doesn't make you. It's who you are as a person, right? My grandfather, my father, those morals, those values, I always go back to that. They are what made me who I am today. So I live I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not afraid of anything because I do believe that everything happens for a reason and God is great. I was born Catholic. You know, I go to church, I pray, I'm a good person deep down. And I say that, anyone could argue that, but whatever. I'm a good person. My exes will argue that, but I'm a good person deep down, right? They will, but you know, and everything that's, like I said, everything that's happened in my life, I feel like blessed. I feel like, thank God it's blessed. And I always say, my dad's approaching 70 and I've seen him slow down the last couple of years, but still we play volleyball 3 hours every week on Tuesday. He's almost 70. He sets me, we spike, we have the best time ever. We drink, we party. It's a blessed life. We're living a great life. And so I just want to stay healthy. I want to stay happy.
Yeah.
I'll pod till I die. I love that fucking thing. It's like my little baby. I grew up from nothing. Now we're, you know, taking steps up.
Yeah.
So we gotta. I told you. I said next week you're on mine, but this is great while we're here. But you gotta ask me shit, man. I don't want to keep talking.
No. And this is amazing. No, I love the answers and how you elaborate on it. Now, a lot of what. Okay, let's talk about the betting, for instance, right? So you're betting big.
Yeah.
Like the amounts that you're swinging, like, bro, guys will go into fucking comas. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know for anything, but it's like, I look at it on social, I'm like, and I'm like, I feel like watching the game for him. Be like, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, let's get it. I want you to win kind of vibe, right? Because it's such a big amount, bro, right? Yeah. So, like, I don't mean to poke go too deep, but, like, I'm going to here because I know that a lot of other people are probably thinking the same thing. Like, how is it that you bet so big and you're so casual and cool about it, and you know, like, you don't really get your panties in a bunch or get upset about it, and then you're back at it the very next day swinging those amounts? Like, those are what people make annually, you know, in one bet. Like, what's up?
So what's up is obviously it didn't happen overnight, right? And I don't come from money. I don't have no trust fund. My dad was a salesman and he gave us everything, but I don't come from millions. To take it back to the original day, I'll never forget it. I have a lot of family in New Brunswick, Eastern Canada, and over there betting was legal before even Ontario. It was a thing. So you'd go to the corner store, you'd go $2 on 6-7 teams, and you'd bet, right? So when I was 8 years old, my cousin George, he actually lives in Burlington now, but came from the East End. He said, let's go to the store and let's pick some teams. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know, whatever. We picked like 6-7 teams. The first 5 won and the last 2 lost, but they lost 1 by 1. And so that day I was hooked.
Oh, wow.
The next day, this is the summertime, right? This is summertime and beautiful New Brunswick. All my family's there. But next day we went, same thing. And we're doing $2. We're doing nothing. I did all that until I was like 14, 15. So that's 6-7 years.
From 8 till 15, you were swinging.
Every day, $2, $1. You get some hits, but you don't. I'm going to school. I'm like, at 15, I made a deal with the convenience store up the street. Now I'm back in Toronto, Mississauga, actually. I said, listen, I know you got to be 18 to bet. I said, my mom can come in here every day and just put the ticket through for me. I said, I'll give you $100 a month. This is like 15, 16 years ago. I'll give you $100 a month. I'm going to come in, just put the ticket through. Pretend like I'm buying candy so the cameras don't see. Put the ticket through for me. It saves my mom. I used to bicycle up to the corner store. And by 15, I started to get a hang of things.
Okay.
Like the sports betting business.
Sure.
So that went on for 3 years till I was legal 18. And I started to like make some decent money. And then all the online stuff started to hit.
Okay.
And then people don't understand. Now it's all the big boys are in here, like MGM and Caesars and everything. So now it's like fully legal, full blown online, like the biggest companies in the world are here.
Sure.
But even back then, it was legal, but it was regulated outside of Canada. So we could still do everything we could do today, but it was regulated by companies in London and Malta and the Caribbean and stuff. So then I started navigating to the online world. And then as technology grew, we got more data, more resources. I went to Vegas a lot. I learned the ropes of the entire industry. Even dabbled with some consulting, but I didn't like that side of things. But I just became an expert. I just honed my craft. And I made all my mistakes, I always say, with $2 and $1 back in the younger years. And by the time I was like 21, 22, I had this whole business on lock. I know what was the right bet, what was the wrong bet, what was the sharp bet. I would pay, and I still do today, pay information guys, consultants, handicappers, whatever it was, to get the best information, right? And then I slowly but surely built my bankroll, I found that the crevices in the industry that were off, and built like 7-figure portfolio. And then actually last year was my biggest year ever.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, last year was my biggest year ever, man. $1 million games, multi-million-dollar portfolio, crushing it. Mademoiselle Monday, we used this thing $1 Million Monday, where I'd make Peter, you know Peter, I made Peter put the fucking games on Mademoiselle, and the whole club's going crazy. I said, I don't give a fuck. He had the frame TV. He has the frame TV. I said, I'm going to airplay the football game, and I'm going to go fucking crazy here.
Yeah.
Francesca, get me a tequila soda. David, bring me a shisha, and let me and everyone be around me partying, and I'd just be zoned in on the game, right? This was like week 3, week 4, we started the NFL. And for 15 straight weeks, I was just pounding it. I'd show up by like 9:30 right at halftime, and I'd finish the second half, and then win or lose, I'd go. People think I win all the time. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hitting like 65%, 60%.
Okay.
Sometimes NFL is probably my best sport. And I'm just having the time of my life now. And then so let me put it all together. So I'm Lebanese. And so I told Peter, I'm like, we got to do this Mediterranean Monday thing. We got to bring some drummers. We got to have some Arabic music. Like, I got to really turn this fucking thing all the way up.
That was all for him.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
so he can watch his game in the presence of what he felt like it should be.
The DJ is my best friend, Arabic guy, Hadi. Shout out Hadi, I love you.
Yeah,
and the dancers are friends of mine. The drummers are all, everyone's connected to me.
Yeah, it's your party.
It's basically my party.
You just needed a place
and
to
don't
do
think
it.
I'm not coming for a check every Monday, Peter. I'm coming for a check. I'm a money guy.
Yeah.
But and then I just made this like a dream world. And thank God every Monday this year was, I think we lost 1 or 2. But even the one I lost, I still partied the night away because it's a reality of the industry. But yeah, long story short, learn your mistakes in any business. Learn your mistakes young, hone the craft, work hard. Like I'd have 2-3 hour days sometimes because I'm studying the lines and the analytics and all that fucking shit. It's people don't understand. It's not just LeBron against Colt. Like, it's not who's better.
Yeah.
The game is so intricate. The refs, the weather, if it's baseball or where did they go? What hotel did they stay in the night before? Where did they go out?
You'll go that far.
Buddy, I was partying with some of these NBA players till 5, 6 in the morning on Saturday night, and I know they have a 12 o'clock tip-off. I do my own research. I do my own homework. I literally pour them shots. 4 a.m. last call in Toronto. I'd be partying with, I'm not going to name names because I don't want them to whatever, but like they'd leave the club at 6 a.m. with us. And I know they have to be at shoot around at 10, and they're drunk as fuck. It's just simple math. I know where they stay Shangri-La, Ritz-Carlton. I know all these things. And either I pay someone to know or I know them myself because I'm in the city, right? So you got to find an advantage, right? You got to find a hook, right? And a lot of people, like you said, look at it and it's like, this guy's crazy. He must be psycho. He must be on drugs. But it's not about the dollar amount. It could be 100,000, could be $1 million. If I have $100 million, if I'm a construction construction magnate, I have $1 billion portfolio. Building $100 million building doesn't really affect me.
Right.
It's the same concept, right? My portfolio dictates that based on my research and my studying, this game deserves $1 million or $500,000 or 100,000 or maybe a 10,000.
Oh, really?
So it's all money management too, like, right? But obviously I'm I don't want to say arrogant, but I'm a genius marketer, right? So I know how to like market this so that it helps my brand grow, right? And I show wins and I show losses, and I've just last year was my biggest year ever, and I love the industry itself. I love, like, this year's Super Bowl was insane. I went to Vegas for the Super Bowl, and the lineups and the betting, and there's betting windows, and everyone's talking about the spread and the total and all this shit. And I love the way the industry is going, so I know it's going to be a part of my life forever.
Wow.
Yeah, sports betting.
And the portfolio in which you speak of, is this a portfolio that's your money that you're betting on games and you're growing, or is there another vertical on it that you advise other sports bettors as well, and they could sign up for a program or a community that they belong to where you have your picks in there and stuff? Like, is that what you mean by portfolio, or is it just you smashing games?
I'm only talking about my bets.
Wow. Okay.
I actually pay people for information. I pay sources. I pay handicappers.
Wow.
I pay whatever. I could be consulted if I wanted to be. But
so you don't monetize on that end?
No, you know what? To be honest with you, the market's not big enough. Like, if you're betting $1 million on a game, even if you sell 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 in packages, like,
right.
Sorry. Like,
Yeah,
not to be rude, not to be arrogant.
Got it.
The market is saturated, not big enough. I know all these guys that but some of them have good information. So I use it when I can. But no, I'm just talking about my betting. Now, a lot of my friends, a lot of my big, Bay Street guys that I discussed have a lot of money that have offered me, let me give you the money to manage and this and that. It's easy to lose your own money. It's hard to
lose someone else's.
It's if I don't need it, which I don't financially, thank God, I don't need it. Why even take on the stress
Got
of.
it.
You know,
Got it.
that's my answer to that, right?
Yeah. No, it could trip you out because it's not your
Yeah,
money anymore. So you have a different perspective in which you're looking at
Yeah.
it because you don't want to ruin this relationship. But then as you're tripping, you make the wrong pick.
Exactly.
And it'll, fuck, wow.
It tests.
cool.
See, I'm tested mentally, so I could take $1 million loss, no problem. I could take any loss, no problem, because I know it's a part of my system, right? And I have a lot of profit, thank God, to show for it. I'm not chasing.
So how much will you bet over the course of a year? Like how much action do you put
My
through?
handle's insane, like $1 billion handle. Like
Wow.
handle, like over, like repeat it over. And
Yeah,
over.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
On a Saturday, I'll bet 10 million over, repeat it over. You know what I mean?
You'll
Like
shoot 10 mil on a
like
Saturday.
like just you could bet 100,000 100 times, for example, or $1 million times, whatever the case may be. My handle is in the billions, but obviously.
And this is done through online sites or bookings?
Yeah, no online sites.
No bookings.
I don't use book. I mean, they had their day. I love them all. They all were great to me. You know, I had a lot of. I could tell you some good stories, some bad stories too about them. But it's easier
to do online.
to scale now online and the regulations. And thank God, I hope they don't touch it. But so far, it's tax free in Canada. Like lottery in general is tax free. You win the lottery here. It's not Powerball, $500 million, but it's 30 million. But it's tax free.
Yeah.
So hopefully Trudeau stay away. We don't need you to tax our winnings. Please.
He's coming, eh?
He's coming for
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
please just keep it
Chill for a bit.
Like T4, I really don't. That's the government always wonders. Like the government always asks me, like, what do you do? I say, I bet on sports.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
what does
yeah.
that mean? I have a couple of real estate properties just in there, but and then you don't show income, and then everyone wants to know what the fuck you're doing and how do you have all this money? Well, I'm not dealing drugs.
Yeah.
I don't do drugs. I tell that openly and honestly, and it's just. Thank God, cash is king in my world. I guess I don't know. I don't really.
Yeah.
You're probably not happy about that, but man, I'll give you a mortgage or two.
Oh,
no
it's all
problem.
good. Bro. Yeah. Right
Yeah, I know.
on.
Sports betting's special. It's great. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Everyone should do it in some respect.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
everyone should do it in
awesome.
some
That's
respect.
cool.
You ever watch a game with
Different
no money on it,
perspective.
and then you ever watch a game with a couple bucks on it? It's
Sure. Yeah. Look at him nodding his head.
It's two different fucking ball games. It's just, trust me, it's just no longer entertainment for me. It's all work. I never look at a game entertainment wise.
Yeah.
Right? Like a Super Bowl, I was there. I'm watching this game happen. I had the under 47.5.
What'd you bet on that?
I mean, we're up there. That was a little bit in Vegas, a little bit.
So did you win? Did it go under?
So it landed on 47 in overtime.
Oh, you won.
Won by half.
Nice.
Yeah. So unfortunately,
half a point. Bro.
Unfortunately, I was with a couple of Niner fans.
Okay.
So
They were sour?
They were really sour. So I was ready to get absolutely fucked up, and they just weren't happy. They weren't having it. One guy actually left early. He left that night. He changed his flight. Another guy stayed till the morning, and then I went home. Tough. I'm a loyal guy too, so I didn't go out. I didn't celebrate, even though the pocketbook was nice. But sports betting's good. Everyone should dabble in it a bit. Right?
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Different perspective for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Now, what is it that so no full-time job other than managing the sports book, which is a full-time job,
Right.
let's say. So an entrepreneur in that space, building out your personal brand, right? Now really putting yourself out there, right? Whatever you're doing, like I said a little earlier, it's working. It's
Thank
been a year from you when you've come from a private account to putting yourselves out there. You've been with guys like Little Mo. You've sat down with guys like Baca. You're in with the MBH boys. The list goes on in regards to your hyper-local influence. Now, do you look to grow that internationally? Do you look to move into other markets in the world and dabble in, building businesses there or building your personal brand there? Is that a part of the plan, or is it you want to stick to Toronto as your playground, as you said, and your Mademoiselle Mondays and your millions of dollars that you're making on the sports betting? Like, really, why would one want anything more than what you have right now? It sounds like a little dream world you're living in. But if you do, I'd love to understand what that vision is and what you're going to do to get there, because a guy like you is going to do it, right? So it's
100%.
exciting to see.
So one thing I want to say is I want to shout out Toronto, because it's such a metropolitan city that sometimes you don't have to go anywhere and you feel like you're in the center of the world, right? TIFF or like when we had All-Star Weekend here, NHL, and I'm in a box with Gretzky and Cuba Gooding Jr. and I'm doing shots with these random. I'm calling everyone uncle, and I have that what's that moment, that catch me moment, whatever they call it, like that moment where I look around, I'm like, is this life? Like, you grew up watching these guys and idolizing these guys, and these are big celebrities, and I'm just a small guy from Mississauga that just bets on sports, and you know what I mean. So I have that moment where I'm like, is this real life, and is this where I built myself to, or is it go? I don't know, Nick, the answer where it's gonna go. I don't want to say. It's actually funny. 8 years ago, this producer came over to my family house, and he's like, I want to make you guys like the Kardashians. He's like,
wow.
he's like, because I'm one of 3 boys. My dad and my mom are all. My mom tells me to F off and she's in the kitchen cooking shit. Like, we have such a dynamic. Like, if you put cameras on us, we'd be the Kardashians times 100. Like, it's a crazy thing. So I just always was that. I'm a family boy. I'm a family guy. I have coffee with my grandmother every day. Like, I see my brothers much. One of my brothers lives in Florida. One of my brothers lives in Richmond Hill here. And I'm just a family guy at heart, so I don't think that it's so grand. But when I go out and when I sit with these guys, and I go and Toronto, like, you know, from my condo to the Air Canada Centre to the clubs, it's all like 5-minute radius, right? And you get out there and you never know who you're gonna end up with or who you're gonna be with. And so, to answer your question, I do think it's gonna go international, right? Lil Mo, you go to New York, you film with Times Square. I'm going back to film another one. I'm going to Miami to film one. Like, it's going to go international because of the power of social media and the power of our phones and everything. So it's inherently going to go, right? Like, I get messages, I don't know if you do, but I get messages from all over the world. Like, I love this pod, where are you from, this and that, whatever. So without even trying, it already is international. It's going to keep going. But Toronto is I love home. Man, there's so much to do every night of the week, whether you want to party or you want to this or you want to that. There's something to do every day. There's always, from the sports to the nightlife to the events, there's always something going on. And it's just such a, we had a bit of issues with crime, not too long ago, but I think that's kind of sorted itself out. And I think the city's safe, and it's new places are popping up every day. And I love home. I love Toronto.
Cool.
And so I go to the same places every year, and people get mad at me about that. I go to Vegas, I go to New York, I go back home to Lebanon. I don't really go to Europe. I don't go to Australia. I don't go to Asia. Everyone's like, you got to see the world. I'm like, I go where I know. I go to Vegas. They pick me up on the rolls. I go to the Wynn. I stay there all week. I come home. It's a little playground, just like Toronto's my little playground. So I don't really desire to do much more than what I know works. And my life is as what I know is going great. So I don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kind of is that my vibe, right? That's my vibe. And like, I came from, and my dad was in sales. Sold vacuums door to door. That's what my dad did.
Okay.
And when his dad died, he needed to make a buck. So he was going to be a pilot, my dad. Thank God he never was. No offense to pilots, but my dad made a lot more money than pilots. Like, he just became a master salesman. Didn't speak the language, did all the direct door-to-door sales shit that you hear about.
Nice.
That was my fault. Mustache, slick back, black hair. Don't ask me why I don't have any. I don't know. But he just, my dad came from the gutter and just made it. He just made it. And
nice.
I did the same. He never wanted me in his business because he knew direct sales was going out the door. So I just carved out my own niche, and I always was good at making money. I did everything, multi-level marketing, door-to-door. I did all that in some respect, right? Until I found kind of what I loved, right? Which I made a lot of money sports betting. I parlayed that into some good real estate investments, which are now cash flow kings. Cash flow, create a lot of cash flow. So between the betting and the real estate investments, I don't have to work a day of my life, right? But I also want more. I'm not settling on my laurels. I want more. I always want more. Millions not enough. 10 millions not enough. I'm like knocking at the door every day for another goal, right? It's the same with the pod, right? The pod had 100 views. Now it has 1,000. Now it has 10,000, 20,000. And every day I'm like, let's keep going for more. I'm young. I'm single. I don't know when this airs, but and like both our brothers are married with kids now, living very comfortable, good lives. They do their own thing, but having a family, this, and a relationship changes the whole thing. You gotta take the time for the wife, take time for the kid. You gotta feed the kid. You don't get much sleep, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm now living that dream life where I go to bed when I want, I wake up when I want, I work when I want, and that's probably why my brand is where it is, because I'm just dedicating whatever you call me. Let's do pod. I love that life where it's like I can do whatever I want whenever I want. I'm not slave to a boss or to a work or to a job or anything. It's very powerful. People don't see how much I work. I work like super fucking hard, but I don't sleep much, right? Because between the partying and the working and the entertaining and the podcasting, there's not much time to sleep. Seeing your family, all that too, right? There's 24 hours in a day, right? And a lot of people say, oh, I need 8 hours and I got to be up for work, this and that. I said, okay, fine. No problem. Go, whatever. I'll sleep 2 hours a day, an hour a day, because I got to get up and film. I got to get up and work, study the games, whatever. I'm a big believer. Shout out Gary Brecka and my hydrogen water and the bionic human. I'm a big believer that our bodies. So this water is regular water, but it's pumped with hydrogen. right? So when you're dehydrated, drinking, you wake up dehydrated. That's because you're lacking hydration. This pumps hydrogen into the water. Boom, you become the bionic human. Whether it works or not, don't ask me. But like, I've never needed sleep. I never liked sleep. I don't believe in the weak, the weak mindset. This is how my dad was. My dad was back against the wall, no money. Father died. Banks are calling. Everyone's calling. We need money, this and that. I believe the human body is so powerful. The mind is so powerful that, like, if you believe you're weak, then you're weak. If you believe you're strong, you're strong. That's how I think. Like, you know, you're going to die one day. We're all going to die. 70, 80, 90, whatever. We're all going to die one day, right? Death is right staring. A lot of people are scared to die, but they don't live because they're scared to die. They don't live. They don't live their true life because they're scared to die, right? I think that's the biggest thing that I know about my brand now and my podcast is the messages I get from people that are struggling. That are struggling with depression and anxiety and money and all these day-to-day things that people struggle with. And to see and to hear and to read the messages from people that say, you make me smile, or your story. I'll tell you the real while we're here. I'll tell you the real about when I had no money, when I had tons of debt, when my dad said, you're a piece of shit, leave, because you're using his credit cards to bet and to gamble. I went through all this shit. I went through depression. I went through, like, I don't want to say even suicidal, but like, when does it end? When does it get better? Who do I have to go ask for money? Who do I have to go ask for help? So they see me now and they're like, this guy has it all figured out. But I did it all on my own. And I had to fail to feel this that I feel right now. I had to fail.
Yeah, of course.
Failing built me. It made me tough. It made me losing the people that, like, my grandfather was my guy. I saw him every day. One day he was gone. Said bye to me at dinner. Massive heart attack. That was the toughest day of my life. But that and failing and all those things, that just being out there and you got to experience life. The people that are comfortable. I'm rambling on. I apologize. But
no.
The people that are comfortable.
Yeah.
That want to Netflix and chill and stay in their bed and go to work and come home. That's where the great goes to die. That's where greatness and success goes to die, is the comfort zone. As soon as you step out of it, which is now what I have. I was comfortable in private social media and making my money and no one really knowing who I was, but I had my friends. I was comfortable. But everyone came up to me and told me, you got to be out there. Your personality, your voice, your brand, you got to be out there. You got to do a podcast, a reality show. I always said it, people brought it to me. The people said, you got to do something out there, a podcast or something. And so, having heard the people say that, and I never expected to have even this success that I'm having. And I know it's going to keep going. I just know because, I'm doing it and I'm having fun. But I got out of my comfort zone, even showing my bets. The reality is if I make a certain amount of money, the sportsbook will tell me you're cut off. But now DraftKings will call me when I make a big bet and they'll say, can we put your shit on social media? Can we put your bet on social media? They'll ask me to advertise. Why? Because it's good for their business. It's another reason why the industry's changed, right? They used to cut you off and not want to be public about what you're betting, or even though I'm a winner, I win, I profit. Now it's like, this is the world where social media and content is the new currency. It's more powerful than being hunkered down and being silent and this and that. Like, shout out Tony Soprano and The Sopranos, where everything was kind of, this and that. And I know that's still part of our life, but nowadays you can't be secretive. You can't be comfortable. You can't be on the low. It's impossible. It just doesn't work. You got to be out there. You got to go for it, right? It's just the world we live in today. So to everyone out there, I say my advice is don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to go for it. It's so easy to fail. You just quit, you pack up and you go home. And then, whatever, right? My dad always wanted me to get married at 33. He got married at 33. All my brothers got married at 33. I told him, I said, I promise you I'll get married at 33. This was 3 years ago. And then this whole thing happened. This whole brand, this whole podcast, everything, and he sees it, he tells me. He's getting calls from Egypt and Lebanon, and everyone's calling him like, your son is insane. And he's like, and I said, Dad, I got to talk to you. I sat him down. I said, I think my life has shifted a bit. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I don't know if 33 is realistic anymore. He goes, why? I go, well, honestly, Dad, my life is very fast now. Right? I don't know if I could even handle a girl or a wife or kids. I said, my goals have shifted. I used to want a nice $1 million home and I drive a nice car and that's it. Now I want a mansion and I want to be on Times Square, my face on Times Square, and I want to be the biggest celebrity in the world's ever known. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you'll be a grandfather one day. He's already is a grandfather, but I'll make you a grandfather. But I said, Dad, my life is
a little different.
It's got to be different. You got to adapt.
Yeah.
Right? Just like everyone adapted with COVID, you got to adapt. Life is, it's always ever changing, right?
Yeah.
You got to be ready to adapt and adjust, right? Ask more questions. Let's go. I talk forever, honestly.
I love it.
What's our running
I
time
love
now? We're like, you know what I mean?
I love it. I
Forever,
love
honestly.
it. So now, what I find very interesting too is the way that you associate yourself with these celebrity figures, right? And not only growing your brand and wanting to be one day, right? And you're on your way there and becoming more and more and more well known, not only in the city but like you said, internationally. How is it that you've affiliated yourself with these stars, these celebrities, these people with big names, big social media followings? How do you get in a room with them? How are you in that box doing shots with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah.
Like what takes you there?
Great question.
Yeah.
Great effing question. I don't want to curse. You seem very proper.
No, it's all good.
Great
man. Go
question.
for it. Yeah.
I've never been starstruck. I don't get starstruck.
Okay.
And I'm very good at, all my friends always say I'm very good with celebrity faces. Like people will be walking by, be like, that's that guy, that's that guy.
Oh,
that's
wow,
that guy.
okay.
I'm very good at pointing them out.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I never stop and ask them for pictures. I think what it is you were in hospitality. I'm sure you hosted a lot of the guys, a lot of the biggest guys.
Sure.
And the reality is they're just another person.
Yeah.
They might be outside to the public world, bigger and more money, but they're just another person. So when you get to that position where you're, many times I'd be in this booth and this famous celebrity, this athlete would be right next to me. All-Star Weekend for the NBA was insane. Right? I know all the club owners. I knew them all, from Maddie at Wildflower to Mickey at Lost to whoever. I knew them all. They're all friends of mine. I go at the regular weeks.
Yeah.
So when the celebrities come in,
Yeah.
and it's All-Star Weekend, I still get my treatment, right? But next to you is this guy, next to you this guy. But I never really got starstruck, because the reality is, in Toronto, in a metropolitan city, any night, any weekend, any night, you could be with a celebrity, and it's just like, it's cool, right? But it's like, it doesn't really matter to me that he's there that night, because next night it'll be someone else, and next night it'll be Drake, and next night it'll be The Weeknd, next night it'll be Wayne Gretzky. So it's I think when they call me crazy, but it's like an energy, right? When they feel that you're not trying to take a picture with them, or you're just doing your own thing, which is always what me and my crew and my people, I always tell them, just do us. Don't worry about anyone else around us.
Yeah.
I've never been in a fight in Toronto. Never gone to a fight in Toronto, I swear to God. Never caused a ruckus, never been kicked out of a club, never in my life. Because I go there to have a good time.
Yeah.
So the club owners know that, the celebrities, the athletes, all those guys know that. Now that's just the club scene. Now, having built my brand, I've gotten a lot of great connections. And I think these guys are celebrities, but they're real people too. So when they see that you're a real one, right? And, I've never paid anybody to be on my pod. I don't go and, pay them for this time or that time. That's not my style, right? Let's chop it up like men and men. That's what Lil Mo and I do. And now we just FaceTime and make fun of each other all the time. It's just, he's become a friend of mine, right?
Yeah.
Chopped it up with Bach on the pod last week. You wouldn't believe. Drops next week. Like and subscribe and go watch that. But you wouldn't believe what kind of person this guy is. What he did in the can, how he got charged, how he came out, how he's doing now. You talk to these people like they're not celebrities, like they're men or women, like they're real people, right? And they love your energy and they love your vibe, and they realize, through my own personal social media and how I was raised the right way, that I'm a real one, and I'm not just trying to get them for their star status, or I'm not trying to get them for this or that. Like you said, the All-Star Weekend, so I had no plans to go to NHL All-Star Weekend. I'm not a big hockey guy. Like, I love the Leafs. I always go to playoffs when they make it and inevitably fail. Shout out Leafs. This is the year.
Yes, it is.
It's the year, hopefully. But
I truly believe that too. Sorry, we won't go off on
shout out
that.
Austin. Austin's doing
I can
crazy
get us
things.
in a lot of
Yeah,
trouble.
no. Listen, you never know. Hey, eventually it's got to happen,
It's
right?
gotta
Law of
happen.
averages. It has to happen.
It's got to happen.
So I wasn't planning to go. Friday night, someone calls me at 6:30. 30 minutes. Again, I live next door. So 30 minutes for the All-Star Skills. Like, do you want to go? Part of the network, part of the branding, right? Like, people just, whatever. I said, yeah, I'll shoot the shit. Same thing Saturday. I wasn't planning to go to the All-Star game. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 2:30, Joey T. I don't know if you know Joey T. Joey T calls me. He's like, do you want to go to the All-Star game? I'm like, all right, let's go. Right? I know that's arrogant, and like, I don't want to sound like an asshole that people would die to go to this thing, and I just got invited. That's just the reality of the world we live in. Half the stadium's booked out for corporate.
You look at something like that, and I say, like, look how much business that you bring to Mademoiselle and how
Right.
awesome you've been to them and the relationships that you have. I think that's what that goes,
100%.
back to. And not only that, but you're a funny guy. You're entertaining. Like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna hang, I'm gonna hang with Cristo.
Yeah.
And not only is he deserving of this extra ticket that I got, but I'm gonna have a good time with him too.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's not even about your passion of the game. It's just you as a person and someone who has that ticket. It's like, I'm gonna bring that guy.
Yeah. So I again, I don't ask where we're sitting. You're honored. I'm honored to go with you. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah.
What do I know? I get to the stadium. It's not even Joe. Joey's like, my nephew's there. Like, go sit with my nephew. I'm like, all right, fuck it. Let's go sit with your nephew. So I go sit with his nephew for like a period or something. Then he calls me. He's like, come up to the box. I'm like, whose box? He's like, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s box. I'm like, all right. So I go up. We go in. I'm in the luxury suites. Then I see Wayne. Wayne was on acid or something. Wayne was fucking. I was looking right at Wayne in the eye. And he was looking this way. I probably had a couple too many drinks or whatever, but he was insane. Then we end up in Shirt Club with Drake and Wayne and all these famous old NHL players. And at 4:30, I'm twisted, seeing like 3 different things because I had so many shots I couldn't see. And then we go back into the box. All-Star Weekend. I bet $100,000 on the game. Cuba Gooding Jr. looks at me. I didn't know how the All-Star game worked, by the way. It's Team Matthews against Team this, 3-on-3. It's all, I just look at my betting app. I see Team Matthews. I'm like, I'm hammered. I bet. Cuba Gooding Jr. on my shoulder sees it. He goes, the fuck did you just do? I go, I just bet $100,000 on Team Matthews. He goes, He goes, give me your phone. He goes, what? He sees it. He goes, holy shit. People are sitting in the front row in the suite. He goes, you two, out. Like that. He kicks 2 people out. Me and Cuba go sit front row. Didn't take his eyes off the game the rest of the game.
Because he was watching for you.
He was watching for me. Right? I was like, give me the show me the money.
That's
give it to me. Jerry Maguire. I can't wait. They ended up winning that one, and then I lost the final round. I was like, I evened out. But he was so enamored with me. And he lives in Miami now. He's like, as soon as you come to my night, call me. I got his number. We're going to do the pod with him, this and that. Isn't that something? By 6 o'clock, I was twisted. Now, here's what's so special about Crystal. And I talk in the third person. At 6:30, I leave the stadium. I am flying. Like flying. This is probably not the best story to tell, but I'm flying, but I know what I'm doing. My mom calls. She goes, where are you? I go, I just finished the All-Star game. Gretzky, Cuba. I'm probably going to go out, madam. But everyone. She goes, no, come to Zorro's. I don't know if you know Zorro's.
Yeah, of course. Legendary. Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah.
My grandfather went up during the opening, 73, 74. He was there for the opening. My grandfather taught my dad, and it's our family steakhouse. I know John and Nick and those guys for years. They're like family to me.
Okay.
So and I love their food. Portions are like this and that. Anyways,
but
not to get too off topic, but she says no. Come to Zorro's with your dad and I. Saturday night, heart of the action, All-Star Weekend. I go, who's going? They go, we're actually meeting some family friends. I said, honestly, Mom, like probably shouldn't drive. I shouldn't leave the city. Really, I'm having a great time with these guys. She said, no. My dad called. My dad got on the phone. He said, come to dinner. So I get in the car and I go to dinner. And thank God they're fun parents. So we drank, we partied with John and everyone at Zorro's. And then I said, guys, 10:30, paid the bill, got out of there. That's the difference, I think, between me and everyone else. Is I ended up going back downtown, having a great night or whatever. Saw Gretzky, saw Cuba, saw them all. We had a great night. But it's those 3 or 4 hours, and this can go into our other topic, our next topic. Family is everything. Family is everything. Doesn't matter what celebrity or what, excuse my language, pussy or dick or whatever the fuck you're looking for that night or whatever. Don't ever forget your family.
Right.
It is literally the lifeline. When everyone fails you, friends inevitably, and women and men, and family will always be there.
Yeah.
So at my peak litness, when my mom or dad calls or whenever they need anything, like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do to drive. Probably wasn't the smartest life decision because I probably could have met someone and da-da-da-da. But those 3-4 hours and those hours I spent with my family, even if I live downtown, I always go back to Mississauga and chop it up with them. I play volleyball with my dad every week, 3 hours. Family's everything.
Yeah.
My brothers, my grandmother's still living, my aunts, my uncles, everyone. It trumps everything. It's more than any dollar. Family is the key to life. And for everyone that doesn't have one, sometimes friends become family. Your parents pass, whatever this thing, but family, not just blood, family, people, friends that you call family, people that you work with, you see every day. And I feel like back to Toronto, it's just like a big family for me.
Yeah.
It's just like a big family, Toronto. And, Mademoiselle Monday, before I sit down, Nick, when I walk in there, before I sit down, I do 30 minutes of schmoozing. I goes to the managers, to the coach check girls, this and that. I talk to everyone like they're my family.
Yeah.
Because when I walk in there, I don't ever book a table. There's a table there waiting for me every week because they know I'm coming, not coming, if I'm not in the city, whatever. But it's like my extended family. I call them family, though, because they treat me like a king, right? And my culture's on display and money. Family. Family over everything.
Beautiful way to put a nice little bow tie on this and end it off. Family is everything. As much partying as you do, as much business as you do, and gambling, as much as you're well known out there on an international scale, as much as you got going on, you still at your core value the family, and having it be that it trumps all is very special, and you could feel that off of you. You could feel that this guy's got a good moral compass. Like he's out there, he's wild, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the good guys,
loyalty
they
and
win,
respect.
right? And not only do they win, but they usually have a solid, core family that they respect. So that's awesome, man. Very, very inspirational story. I think that, for all the audience looking in on this episode, watching this episode, definitely make sure to follow this gentleman. He's just exciting. I look forward to when I see his story bubble.
What's your favorite series? You gotta have a series.
I
always ask, what's your
post on, right? I honestly, dude, I like everything that you're up to, but I love my favorite are the podcasts and how you're just raw. And how you just
the last episode with
the
Anthony,
most out of people, right? And like sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's awkward, but what's so awesome about it is it's raw, it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's authentic, right? And you're like, whoa, that guy, he just asked that and he put that guy in that position and he said that and tears came out of it. It's like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's the shit that I don't want to say people, myself, that's what I gravitate to.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to have the lights, camera, action thing and everyone takes the stage and starts talking, but it's hard to be real. It's hard to be authentic. But when one is authentic, it just you could smell it from a mile away. Yeah. And I appreciate it, right? Because, we all have skeletons in the closet. We all have insecurities. We all have things in which we're not proud of. We all have, and want to show all the great things in life. But we steer away and kind of, put in a shadow the things that we're not too proud of, right? But when you hear it, right, and you could relate to it because we're all human at the end of the day, it's beautiful because it doesn't make you feel so guilty. It doesn't make it to be that you have so much shame for those things. It's just like, you know what, man? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Nothing is new under this sun. It's all happened before. Yeah. And that guy's as much as a fucking character as I am and has as many good things and bad things going for him. And I respect that, you know? And you get that out of your guests. And you're real, bro.
I think too often, my last episode with Anthony, we talked about, being canceled and doing the right thing is sometimes wrong in society today. And I just think, I think I'm blessed because I don't have to answer to anybody. Like I don't have a production company that tells me kind of where to steer my podcast or a person like a boss that will fire me because I say a certain thing. Now that's a gift because I'm unfiltered, right? The way I see things. Yeah. And so I can direct my narrative as I want to. And I think that's what a lot of people don't have that, gift, which, I did it myself, but it's sometimes people are scared they can't because of work or this and that. So I think that allows me to just be real and be authentic, right? And I want people to feel that.
Oh, they do, bro. That's what
that's what I think I'm doing well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the beat of the drum that you got going on right now because it's special.
I don't want to get canceled, so don't cancel me.
No, you're not going to get canceled. No, you're not.
I might have to watch this back.
Because again, I'll take it back to that point when I said like you could tell you got a good moral compass, but you tread the fine line, but you know when to cut it off, right?
Yeah,
you know when to like, okay, this is going a little far, and you keep it. You got it going on. Trust me. Whether it's happening subconsciously or you're playing it good. So keep up the good work.
I think honesty. Let's wrap it up here. But I think honesty and transparency
all day.
It just shakes the boat because not many people are like raw. Yeah. And just this is the real.
That's right.
And like if I don't like you, I will tell you I don't like you, and we might laugh about it. But I'll just be like I don't like or I love you, and I love you. Yeah. I go up to a girl and say I want to you. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm just raw, and the girl, and they'll hear it and they'll be like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
interesting. Like
Yeah.
that's like, because men don't do that now. Women are scared, men are scared. Everyone like, I want me too, and I don't want. I'm
Sure.
like, this is just what I think,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I have no filter, so my brain to my mouth right away, ding, zing. Sometimes it doesn't work in my favor, but most of the times it does. I'm real, I'm raw, I'm honest. You're a legend, by the way.
Love
You're a
that,
legend.
love that.
How much you pay for that
Appreciate
smile?
that, This one's free, brother.
No.
God bless me with it. Yeah,
What
yeah.
you're doing here, I'll give you. You'll give you your stripes here. So we're in the podcast room of Spark Financial.
Yeah.
The core, the company culture, I can tell as soon as I walked in.
Okay.
The whole thing, the Jordan Belfort, I'm not leaving. The whole thing up there on the stage.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna do that before I leave.
Okay.
I want my I'm not leaving moment. But the whole culture, I liked how the bosses are not really. It's all see through, and everyone can be a part of everyone.
Yeah.
I love that. Love that company culture. I might come here, chop it up with you randomly when I'm in Woodbridge, Vaughan, visiting Nona or whatever.
Nice. All day long.
I might just shoot the
Please
shit.
do. Please do.
You know, and you'll probably get rid of me soon because I'll just
Never.
come over every day and just
Never.
have a siesta with you. Whatever. No, but what you're doing here is special.
Appreciate
And you used to be in hospitality and nightlife, and like you said to yourself, it ate you up and spit you out. It hasn't done that for me yet, but maybe it will one day. I don't know. I'll get tired. I'll get bored on family and everything. Eventually, I won't. But what you're doing now and where you came from, and you got an aura about you, man. Like what you said, you called me. I said, let's go.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go. I had a death in the family this week. Not to harp on it, but I said I need a little break. All that.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
take your mind off.
Take my mind off it,
Have a
shoot the
laugh.
shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this really helped me. So I thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
You're a legend.
Yeah,
Dap me up.
Yeah.
We'll get a cough or something, and we'll just shoot the shit whenever.
All day.
Thank you for having me on. Hopefully this
day.
airs. I mean,
Absolutely. It's I'm gonna make sure it airs soon too.
put me in between two legends, eh? So,
So
Legends
tell
Week.
the audience a little bit more about where they could follow along the journey, because you got a podcast, social media handle.
So personal brand, Love Profit. I'm kind of the king of Instagram, and I love showing my daily life. I love showing who I am, raw, unedited. The more produced version, you'll find me on the podcast. Producer Terry, absolute legend. We released episodes weekly, sometimes Mondays, sometimes Wednesdays. We kind of feel it out with our audience, and we're on every social: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. It's my podcast is more of a visual podcast, so you definitely want to watch it more than just listen to it. But yeah, follow us, Love Profit, the podcast, and it's wild. So be ready. It's wild. It's entertaining, like Nick said. It's different, and reach out to me. I'm very accessible.
Yeah.
I'm very accessible.
Yeah.
Like
And he
DMs,
responds right away,
text
too.
right away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
very quick. I'm always on my phone. I got all like Eric iCloud all connected to each other. You know, shout out Steve Jobs and Apple. So it's all. So just hit me up. I love to hear from people. I don't. Yeah. No one reads my shit. I read my own shit. Even if it's 1,000 DMs, I read my own shit. I don't have an assistant. You want to be one? Make sure you're hot. What do you want to do? Shalom Mo.
That's it.
I
All
feel
right,
drunk.
guys. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of What Would It Cost. I had an absolute laugh and good time over here with my new friend Cristo, and it was a pleasure hosting you, my brother.
Thank you.
Please don't forget to subscribe and like. That's how we keep this gravy train moving forward. So see you next week.